I'm Landon Wenger. I'm the founder and the CEO of RevXperts. And RevXperts is a growth partner for roofing companies. We help roofing companies generate leads and scale their businesses to levels that they never even thought was possible. For example, Summers Roofing, based out of Wynnewood, Oklahoma, when they came to us, he was just doing roofing as a side business. He was working in the oil field, and he was doing about $200,000 a year with roofing. And when he started with us, I told him, our cost of our packages, a few $1,000s every single month. In addition to that, we're going to require that you spend money on ads, because how do you get more business? Well, you need to get your business in front of more people, in front of your target audience, and then in return, they see your business, they look into you, and they end up calling you or filling out a form on your website. When I showed him that, he was terrified, because he said, Landon, if I do this, this is like all of the extra money that I have. He's like, this feels like way too risky. And I didn't push him into it, but we both had clarity that he was really focused on growing this business. And so I told him, I think it's a good decision. He agreed. He started with us. He scaled this $200,000 side hustle to a $3.5 million business within 12 months. And this didn't happen. This wasn't luck. This wasn't coincidence, just because there were tons of storms and things like that. This was purely a marketing play here. He was showing up on Google for when people were searching for roof replacement company, roof repair company, storm damage roofer near me, all the things. He was just placed perfectly and positioned as the authority in his market. And so, yes, from scaling from $200,000 to $3.5 million in 1 year from very simple systems. People run their companies for so long and never make progress like that. People run their company for decades and don't make progress like that. And so what I see in the market is generally I see a lot of roofing companies are afraid to spend money on ads. And I think most roofing companies should be afraid to spend money on ads, because if you're not working with the right partner, if you don't have personal experience doing it, you could end up wasting so much money. And that's a big fear that everyone has, rightfully so. And so when I look at another example is a company that came to us. They were at around $2.5 million a year, and they were just sitting at that revenue mark, trying to hang on to it. And then the owner one day just switched his mindset. He was like, no, we're going to scale this thing. We are going to grow. He talked to a bunch of different companies, ended up getting referred to talk with me. We sat down, we created a clear game plan, right? Because if you want to scale to 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, it doesn't even matter. If you want to scale, there's math. So much of it is based on math. And so if you understand how much it's going to cost you to get a lead, you understand how many of those leads are going to convert into appointments where you're actually able to give an estimate, give them a quote, and then understand your close rate on that, then it is purely math. Now, there's other things that aren't necessarily so much math focused to grow your business. Like, you should be maximizing your referrals that you're getting. Incentivize your employees, incentivize your customers to give referrals, friends and family, right? You should be very much maximizing referrals. Our client that did 5 million this year, they get tons of referrals. I see it on the site, referral. It's always coming through. But in addition, tons of leads from Facebook ads, tons of leads from Google ads. This client specifically averaged over $300 leads per month, right? 300 leads per month. And in the busy seasons, it's even more than that, right? And so these are the types of numbers that you need. If you want to scale to big numbers, you need a lot of leads, right? Because let's just say you get 100 leads, and out of those 100 leads, you turn 80% of them into appointments. Now you have 80 appointments. Out of those 80 appointments, if your close rate, let's just be conservative, like you suck at sales, your close rate's 20%. Okay, now you have 16 new roofs right there. And so that same math works, whether it's 100 leads or 1,000 leads or 10,000 leads. The math always works. The difference is, as you start to scale up your roofing business, it starts to get more difficult to have control over those numbers and maintain those numbers, right? At the beginning, it's maybe the owner's doing all of the sales, and there's going to be a high close rate there. Then you hire a sales rep. Maybe the close rate's still high, probably drops down a little bit, but that salesperson's working really closely with the owner. You can maintain the good numbers. But then when you start getting so many leads coming in, stuff is going to start falling through the cracks. Yeah, you're going to start out of all those leads, maybe the percentage that you end up booking appointments with goes down because you start getting slower and things get leaky. And at the same time, so now you have less appointments getting booked from your leads. Maybe you also have a lower close rate. And so now as you start to scale, it's not just math, it's not just ad spend and getting leads and understanding your numbers. It's systems, it's internal systems, which is something we don't get involved with. We can offer coaching, but internal systems are key. Using automations, having SOPs, all of that good stuff. So with that being said, at RevXperts, we build websites. We help companies dominate on Google to be the best known roofer in their market. When someone searches roofer near me, roof replacement company, roof repair, all of those special keyword or specific keywords dominate the Google search results, from LSA at the very top of Google to Google pay-per-click, where you're showing up in as like the text ad, to the maps being the top 3 organically in the map section, integrating your pay-per-click ads with your Google business profile. So now you can show up as the sponsored company in the map section. These SEO guys are going to tell you that you can show up in such a massive service area with your SEO efforts, and it's just unlikely to work very well. And so how do you fast track that? You run Google ads where you can integrate it with the maps. Now you show up in the map section wherever you want. You just pay for it, and the numbers work out fantastic. The other thing we do then, once you're a company working with us and you're dominating Google, you're seeing a really good return on your investment. Maybe you made an extra $3 million, $2 million from what you're doing on Google. That's when I want to start looking at retargeting campaigns. So now when someone sees you on Google, they're on your website, now they're getting other ads from your business on Google. This is where we layer in Facebook advertising as well. It's crazy what you can do with Facebook. We had one of our clients did the majority of their revenue this year, $4 million company, did the majority of their revenue from Facebook ads and referrals. So a lot of people just think it doesn't work, but the reason Facebook ads work is because you're spending money to get in front of more people in your local market. So it's inevitable that it's going to work because you have more eyeballs. And then also layering in Facebook retargeting with the Google. So, right, this becomes a full strategy. These are what the biggest players in the game are doing. This is what private equity, the $50 million roofing companies, this is what they're doing. Of course, they're layering in TV and lots of other things, but the fundamentals of scaling a roofing company lie within Google and Facebook advertising if you truly want to scale. So if you want to have a conversation with me, book a call here, and it'll be a 30-minute call where I'll just understand what your goals are, what your where you're currently at, where you're trying to go, and I'll tell you, what's not working with your current process. We'll look at your competitors, understand what they're doing on Google and Facebook, and does your website compete? We'll have a full conversation and build a plan. I'll give you a price, and whether or not it makes sense to work together, you get the plan and you get the price. You don't have to take the price, but you can take the plan. So book a call. We'll go through everything, and hopefully we can come up with a solid strategy for you. I think we can probably help.